because I'm all about value. Bert Camper's got the mad hits. You try to match wit, you try to hold me but a bust through. Gonna make a break and take a bake out like a sneak and they can shake out like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gonna see the show cause then you'll know the vertigo is gonna go cause it's so dangerous you'll have to sign a waiver. Can't I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, well you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Threw your up in the air and said you're crazy. 5 days since you tackled me. I still got the red burns on both my knees. It's been 3 days since the afternoon. You realize it's not my fault, but I won't too soon. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, and now I sit back and wait till you say you're sorry.
Go. Hi, folks. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the room, in the house. So stick around, and we're going to talk cars. I want to share information with you today. I saw some information where an ethanol race car just won a race, and that's great. It's backed by ethanol. It's an Indy-type car, and just for your information, they all run ethanol. What does that have to do with your car? Well, some of the ethanol that is manufactured and refined from corn and other sources now is in your gas tank. And that's a good thing. It's a little ethanol here and a little ethanol there. Next thing you know, we're talking about some real amounts of fuel. Oils also, I don't know if you know how important oils are, but there are some, keywords that I'll share with you today on oils. As to how important an oil system, a lubrication system is to your vehicle. And by the way, oils have additives, and the additives are sacrificial. Now, what does that mean? And and you ladies, don't go away, because this is not going to get technical. I just want you to know that in the case of, let's say, the differential of a car, which, I mean, you're accelerating, you're coming onto the on-ramp of an interstate, you're not even up to, maybe 35 to 50 miles per hour, but you're accelerating because you know that when you hit the interstate, you better be in that 55 mile per hour range if you're going to merge correctly. So that's really important. And if you're on the Autobahn, it's really, really important. And if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, you don't have an option. You better be at 80 miles an hour when you get ready to go in that lane, or somebody's going to run over you, and halfway up to the next exit, there's some police car that's going to pull you over and say, hey, what's wrong with you? Can't you drive? Can't you, So what does that mean? Anytime you put a strain on anything, just like when you hit your brakes or you turn the steering wheel real hard and you hear the tires wailing, well, why does a tire cry? Well, because it's sliding and it's pulling rubber, and it's trying its best to hold on to the surface. So that's a reaction. So for every action, there's a reaction, and you know the physics behind where I'm going there. So having said that, synthetic oils as well as regular oils, gear oils, have this phosphorus material, sulfur phosphorus. That's why they stink. The sulfur. You know what sulfur smells like? Strike a match. That's the sulfur. So when and you probably never smelled any gear oil, but unless you change your own oil, and I don't know how many of you are into that, but gear oil has this weird, strange smell. And years ago, Ford Motor Company made a gear oil that was for positive traction rear ends, and it had an additive called EP. No, it's not an extra terrestrial, not ET, extra pressure for EP. And the extra pressure additive allowed the clutches, and they had these clutches in the differential, in the rear of the car, a real clutch, just like you apply or let off if you've got a standard transmission car. Well, they put a clutch pack inside the differential, and these clutches are pressed together. And one clutch is the right axle, and the other clutch is the left axle. Well, you looking at me on the screen, I guess this is your right, and this is your left. Either way, when you go around a corner, these wheels must turn different speeds, because if you're turning right side, then the right inner wheel turns at a shorter ratio. No, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm just sharing with you and giving you a picture of what happens in this differential and what happens and why. these clutches say, wait a minute, we're going to allow this one tire over here to travel at a different speed, and we're going to slip. And so the clutches slip. And if they don't slip smoothly, they chatter. And in fact, Corvettes of any, if there are any Corvette owners out there, Corvettes of any age, if you didn't add the additive or change the differential fluid, historically, this is in older vehicles, every 12,000 miles, when you turn the corner, the whole differential would go, it would chatter because that clutch would not want to release. It's under extreme pressure. Remember, EP quality lubricant, and that extreme pressure would hold and hold and hold, and finally the force would be so great that it would release. And the minute it released, the pressure would relax, and then it would start over again, and it would go catch, release, catch, release, catch, release, catch, release, until it went, and that was a chatter. So there's your chatter for the day. Speaking of chatter, not idle chatter, differential chatter, okay? Now, having said that, how do you stop a clutch that is turning very slowly from sticking? You use EP. And EP quality means that you can put tremendous loads on that clutch, and no matter what load's on it, it will allow it to slip. So that when you turn a corner with a car that has a positive traction differential that uses clutches to drive both wheels under bad terrain, then those clutches will, on a dry pavement, those clutches will allow the inner wheel to turn fewer rotations than the outer wheel. Now, what happens in wet weather? Well, the wet weather, the tires don't have enough traction to drive the clutches. So then in wet weather, both wheels spin. That's not good, because I can tell you, on a Viper car, you go round and round when you let out the clutch, because you don't want both wheels to spin. If you've got slippery pavement, so in the rain, a positive traction differential is not a good thing. Now, today we have much more sophisticated systems, and I really didn't come here to talk about differentials, so I'm going to get off the subject. But I did want to tell you about the sacrificial lubricant. This lubricant in an engine, this lubricant in gears, a lubricant in all things that work, has sacrificial properties. What does that mean? It means in the event that a part is about to destruct,